30 minutes of power.
Welcome to Top 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to encourage, educate, and inspire godly women to pursue their passions, with hosts Jory O'Neill and Nicole Salter. Thanks for coming. Let's get ready to power up.
Welcome to 30 Minutes of Power, TOP. I am your host, your moderator, your timekeeper. I'm everything, right? I'm everything this evening. Listen, life happens, and you gotta figure it out. So I think it ironic that tonight's topic is all about overcoming obstacles, and my co-host Nicole Salter has just experienced a loss in her family, so she will not be joining us this evening. She has done an incredible job leading us in the first 15 ways to overcome the obstacles that can hinder us from reaching our dreams and our goals. I'm going to do my best to try to wrap this up. The last 5 obstacles we're going to speak about this evening, but I do have my good friend Bernice with me, so I'm super excited. Bernice was one of the amazing participants we had on the 5 days to uncover your gift challenge. So some of these obstacles were things that did come up during the challenge, so I'm interested to see what her thoughts are on some of these as we share them. So recap real quick. 1 through 15 were amazing, and I am not going to run through them for the sake of time. I would encourage you to go back and listen to the previous episodes in order to get that, because they were incredible conversations. I did enjoy them. Tonight, we're going to wrap things up. The last 5 things that will prevent you from achieving your goal. We're at number 16, people. Number 16. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Man, so even though it's not on the list, I want to say life, right? She just experienced a loss. I'm talking about Nicole, and you don't plan for these things. It's not something that you can't do anything about. It's something that's absolutely out of our control. And I know for another girlfriend of mine who just experienced the loss of her aunt, it hit her. It hit her hard. Like, it took her out for a week, and she had gotten all this forward momentum, and she was, putting together a proposal, and things were looking great, and then boom, life happens. And I want to take a very quick detour because I want to talk about that. Like, when life happens, when you're going on your way and all of a sudden life throws you a curveball, and it takes the emotional wind out of you. So recently, we didn't suffer, a death. But my dad, he moved out. Now, if you could imagine having 4 kids and then you have like a built-in third human to kind of help support that. Like, I mean, hats off to anyone who's a single parent, but a 2-parent household, especially when you got 4 of them suckers working around here, like, that's tough too. And we were doubly outnumbered. So having a third human was like, all right, we almost even. we got some reinforcements, right? And so now we're back to the 2 of us and the 4 of them, and we are feeling the effects of our time, of our emotional energy. It was nice having a little buffer. Like, all right, we're parents, but then he's like the scapegoat. We're like if the kids want to get away with something, or they want cookies or just random foolishness in the middle of the day, he can give it to them, and then they happy, we happy, because we don't have to tell them no all the time. And so, yeah, what do you do? What do you do when loss happens? What do you do? It is not on the list of obstacles that will stop you from achieving your dream, but I guarantee you, um, it should be. It should be. We're gonna make that number 21. Number 21 on tonight's list is loss, unexpected loss. And for a lot of people during the pandemic, it was loss of a job, right? I know tons of people who got furloughed, who got let go, who got downsized. Call it whatever title you desire to, but it was loss. People, lost their livelihood. A lot of people didn't realize the importance that they had put on their jobs and maybe the families that they had created at their work environment. And so when that was taken away, right, loss. How do you deal and overcome with loss? I'm actually gonna invite a couple people next week and moving forward. We're gonna have a couple of guests coming here. And I want you to hear from other humans who aren't Nicole and I, who have experienced loss, who've experienced tons of obstacles, who, are in the thick of it each and every day, but they figured it out, they made a way, they overcame, and they are thriving right now. Neither of them are in the United States. So I want people to understand that if you can make it in America, you can pretty much make it everywhere, in anywhere. So we're going to hear from some women from Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, when I saw the name, I was like, "You from where now?" I said, "What?" It's like, oh, okay, cool, okay, you all right? International, let's get it. And another woman from Northern Ireland. I'm super excited to hear their stories. For them to share their stories with you. These are amazing women who very much remind me of myself and Nicole. One real estate, one mindset and clarity coach. I was like, oh, we all over the place. That's great. We're not just here in America. We're all over the place. So let me get started with this list because I could go on tangents all evening. Bernice, for you, let me hear from Bernice. What is one thing? What's one obstacle that you're like every single time? "Ugh, this thing keeps getting in my way." What's one obstacle that's been preventing you from achieving your dreams and your goals?
Money, the lack thereof.
But yeah, listen, money, girl, money. I forgot how much babysitters and daycare was, man. They just I forgot. I've been spoiled the last 2 years. I've been spoiled. Man, I went to ask about a daycare the other day and I was like, how much is it? I was like, for how long? And what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for the child? Like, are they gonna go to Harvard when they leave here?
Yeah.
That's-
And if it's an
Um,
infant, it's more.
right. Like I was like, no, you should just not have babies no more. Like this is how you reduce
The
the
population.
population in Freeport. You 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 make daycare this much money. Um, I digress, man. This is listen. I'll tell you this week. Yeah. So listen, money is the root of all evil,
Hmm.
and it is also the the ability that you have to kind of
To
explore and be
facilitate many
creative.
things.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So a friend of mine, she's like, oh, I saw that you wrote a book. I was like, yeah, I wrote a book. And she was like, one day I'll have to get it. And I was like, oh, you just come to my trunk. I have them in my trunk. I'm selling them on my trunk. So we go to the truck and she's like, what else you got in here? I was like, oh, you want to buy a t-shirt? I'm selling my t-shirts. She was like, is that a DVD? I was like, yeah, I'm selling my DVDs. You want DVD? She's like, is that a hat? I was like, yeah, I got hats. I hats for my company. She's like, why are you doing all this? I'm like, because it's expensive. It's expensive. Like, I got dreams, I got goals, I got ambitions. They're so big, so lofty. I need all the money I could get to like fund them. You know what I mean? So I encourage everybody, go listen, go write a book, go make a hat, go make a t-shirt, whatever you need to do to fund your dream. Get it done, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to start coaching volleyball on the weekends. I need money. I need money to facilitate my dream. Yes, money can be a hindrance. We are actually going to be working on doing a little course to help people figure out ways that they can make money just from the things that they already have. And the great part about it is like you don't need to have any money to do it, right? You
Hmm.
can get other people to kind of like put in money in terms of like funding you and startup monies, and you don't have to write a grant, anything like that. You just so we be on the lookout for that. I'm putting that together. I actually have my screen over here, and that's what I'm trying to string together right now.
Hmm.
Money's money. Listen, money is a big one. Money is a big one. But on this list that Nicole has deliciously put together, um, and I think it's a good segue. So number 16 on the 20 reasons that you haven't overcome and achieved your dream, you get stuck on the how,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know for me that's something that happens often. I'm like, oh, I have this great idea. I wonder how it's gonna happen. And I think what will probably be beneficial is not focusing on the how, but focusing on the who has already done it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who can I learn this from? I don't need to figure out how. I need to know who did this. All right, now that I know who did it, what did you do? I don't care how you did it. How I'm gonna do is gonna be different. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you have things, resources I don't have access to. So I'm not concerned about your how. Who did it? What they do, right? And why did they do it? And I was reading Your Best Year Ever, right? This is a book I've been going through, I feel like, for way too long. It's supposed to be a book you read like in the first like month of the year. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know. I'm not using the video. Why am I showing you this? Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. And he writes in his book, he says, your what needs a why. And I was like, oh, that's deep. Your what needs a why. And that why is your passion. It's your passion and it's your rocket fuel. And a lot of people, and as you know, Bernice, we did the whole like uncovering your why. A lot of people have no idea what their why is. They exist, they
Mm-hmm.
live, they work because they have to. They pay bills and taxes and but it's just cause this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but like why? Why are you doing it? Why are you here? Right? What is the greater purpose,
Good.
the greater mission? And so yeah, people get stuck in the how. And the how will trip you up every time, but I like to focus on the who did it before me and what did they do. And so in November, I am going to a conference. This is one of the first conferences I've ever gone to for business because every other conference has been like Jesus solely. Like I go to Christian conferences, the
Mm-hmm.
women's retreats, marriage conference, Jesus, that's it. And this is one of the first combos. The conference is literally called Grow for God.
Hmm.
There's some words in the middle called said business. Grow your business for God's sake. That is the name of the conference. And so I'm super excited to go there with other Christians, with other God-fearing humans and individuals, because I want to know who is doing what I want to do. Who. And so if I can't find you in my little town, in my little box, in my little sphere, I got to go outside of my box and I'm going to go find you. So Ron and I, we're both going to go to Tennessee in November to the Grow for God conference. And I'm super excited to meet some of the who's who are doing this work already that I desire to do and making the impact that I desire to make. Number 17, you are impatient. Nobody can relate to that. Nobody's impatient. I call this generation a microwave generation because everything is supposed to have happened in 30 seconds or less, or at least yesterday, right? And being patient requires you to have passion. It requires you to know your why, because when things get tough, and it will get tough, you give up way too quick. And so right now I feel like there's some greatness about to happen because it's getting really hard. It's getting really hard. Staying the course, continuing to show up. It's just getting hard. It is. I struggle and suffer from seasonal depression. And as the sun goes down a little faster and it gets darker a little quicker, and yeah, I'm in bed by like 7. Like this is a stretch tonight. This is a stretch. Like ask my husband, he's why are you going to bed so early again? I'm like, I don't know, my body. But you have to be patient. Like you got to be patient. There's greatness about to happen. It's on the horizon. But you have to hold on, right? So 16, you focused on the how. Instead, focus on the who, focus on the what, and figure out where they are. Then go find them. Go introduce yourself. Hey, my name is Bernice. You have money. I would like some. Let's talk. Let's figure this out. I like this. This is great. Number 18, you are chasing someone else's dream and goals. I got stuck in that for a little bit. I started an entertainment business doing comedy, and I wanted to be the next Whoopi. I wanted to be the next Sinbad. I wanted to be the next Jim Gaffigan. I didn't want to be me. Whoever, like the person that God designed me to be. I didn't want to be me. I wanted to be the next somebody else. And God didn't bless that. God didn't bless me chasing somebody else's dreams or somebody else's goals. And so now I, I, man, I'm like, wow, God, you just wanted me to trust you, do it your way, and figure out what I'm supposed to be using my gifts to do. And so I'm excited. The return of Fun Friday Comedy is back this Friday. Woo! So excited to be able to bring some joy, some happiness, some lighthearted humor to folks during this time. And it's listen, it's hard to get on the stage and try to be funny when you're depressed. It's very difficult. It is very tough. But that's part of my therapy. Like my therapy is making other people laugh. That is my gift. And so when I tap into my gift, my problems, my issues, not that they disappear, but they become a little less significant in that moment. And so the more that I show up, the more that I'm able to pour into others and love them and serve them, I feel like, the better my mental state, the happier I am, the more cheerful I am. And if I stay in that atmosphere, if I stay in that space long enough, fake it till you make it. Well, I I'm not faking it after a while. After a while, I'm legitimately happy. So I'm excited about that. Number 19, and this is a problem that I have way too often. You set too many goals. you 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 want to be a millionaire. You want to pay off your debt. You want a Mercedes. You want a 8-figure job. You're like, all right, which one we working on first? Let's pick one. Let's focus on the one, and then we'll figure out the rest of them. But gotta pick one. Yeah, I was the beginning of this year. I was doing the most. I was at the same time. I kid you not. I was writing 3 books, 3 of them at the same time. Now, how many got done? Only the one, because I had to stop writing the other ones. I was like, let's just focus on this one. Let's just focus on this one, because that's foolishness. I was all over the place. I started 3 podcasts. It was threes was I was like, yes, Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Threes was all over the place. I was like, let me write 3 books. Let me start 3
Everything doesn't have to
podcasts.
come in free.
It doesn't, because I have 4 kids. So everything doesn't have to. No, I have 4 kids. Um, but yeah, so you have too many goals. You set too many goals. People say, "Oh, you jack of all trades." I'm like, "Yeah, finish that sentence." And the master of none. Yeah, finish that sentence. Yes, I don't want to be the jack of all trades. I just want to be jewelry. And I want to be pleasing to the Lord. Whatever I'm doing, make it pleasing to the Lord. That's it. But yeah, so if you set too many goals, you're definitely going to spread yourself thin. I know from personal experience. Doing so, you don't actually get to where you're trying to go. You might think you're making 2 steps forward, but the toll that it takes on you mentally, physically, emotionally, basically pulls you back to where your starting point is. So set the one goal, figure out what that goal should be. Again, find who's doing it, find out what they're doing, find out why they're doing it, find where they're doing it at, go, befriend, make connections, network, and in the process, be patient with yourself. Be super patient with yourself. You got to trust the process. Make sure you're not chasing someone else's goal. Make sure the goal that you are chasing is a singular goal so you can have a singular focus. Right. And number 20, don't be surprised by the obstacles. And I think for me, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was gonna run out of money. God, I didn't, I didn't know. I didn't know. He was like, but you've been like spending like you already where you supposed to where you want to be, but you ain't there yet. What you thought was gonna happen? I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. The obstacles of right now, just time. Like the summer was great. I'm a teacher, so the summer was like, woo, free money. Every 2 weeks, somebody's putting money in my bank account, and I ain't got to show them nowhere. And then September hit, and I was like, hey, I don't have as much time as I used to. Durr. Yeah, because now your time is going back to where it was
That's
going in
it.
the first place, right? So I'm trading time for money, and I don't go there often enough. Yes, because my money's funny. So yeah, man. So the last five obstacles that prevent each of us, not just me, not just you, anybody from reaching their goals. One, that focus way too much on the how. Two, being super impatient, not trusting the process and not sticking things out through to completion. That is actually my motto the rest of this year. The second half of this year, my motto is finish what you start. The first half of the year, it was keep showing up. Keep showing up. There's two things I struggle with: consistency and finishing what I started. So my first half of the year was all about showing up, keep showing up. And, praise God, Nicole and I have been doing this podcast consistently every Monday. We took off, I think, two of them, but every Monday since January 7th, every single Monday. And that was our goal. Like, keep showing up, keep pouring into people, keep loving on people, keep motivating them, keep trying to just encourage them. Right. And so the second half of this year for me is just finish what you start. I started, I got to finish it. So, let me finish this list while I'm on it. You like that? Number 18, you're chasing someone else's goals and they are not your own. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses got I don't know, they trust fund babies or something. They don't don't try to keep up with them.
Or they may
Number
not know where they're going.
They might not know where they're going. They just know that they got the money to get there, wherever they're going. And you trying to keep up. Don't do that. Number 19, you set too many goals. Figure out the one thing, just the one thing. And for me, starting a podcast was a big thing. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start a podcast. And then I looked, all the podcasts that exist. And I'm like, oh, after like episode 20, people like fall off. Like they fall off. And for me, like doing Fun Friday comedy has been, again, it's comedy. And my emotions are like, ebbs and flows. Like this podcast, I'm super encouraged because I get to do it with Nicole. So like we trade off, like, hey, you got it. I'm not feeling it. You feeling it? I'm not feeling it. But Fun Friday is just me and Ron editing. That's it. That's all I got. It's just me and Ron. And if you've ever met my husband, he don't talk much. So Fun Friday comedy with him hosting it, it'd be very interesting. I think we should do that one day. Just see what it looks like. But yeah, I had too many goals, way too many goals, and so the first thing that I did was I figured out, okay, what for me, what does success look like with starting this podcast? And
Mhm.
10 episodes, I was like, yes, I did 10. Okay. Can we get to 20? Yes, we did 20. And then for, 30 minutes of power was like, wow, we we have podcasts on the YouTube channel. It's on iHeart. It's on Spotify. It's on like, wow, God, like, wow, thank you so much, God. And so now the second half of this is just like finish what you started. You started, you built up that muscle, you started with the consistency. Now go ahead and finish it. And I think if we all took that perspective with our goals, we just picked the one goal and like, you know what? I'm gonna put all my energy, all my effort, and I'm gonna focus on this one thing, this one task, this one goal, and then we did everything we could in our power to reach it. I think we'd be surprised. We'd be definitely surprised and encouraged by the result. And number 20, you are surprised by the obstacles. Obstacles happen. Things get in our way. Things prevent us from being great and amazing because we take our eyes off the prize.
Mm.
I know for me, mindset has always been a struggle. And so that's what I've been focusing on for the last 10 months, just my mindset. And anything that I learn, I try to share here on this platform with women individually and independently, because I know it's corny and it's cheesy, but a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Anyways.
It is a terrible thing to waste, but a limited mindset is a terrible thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been really focusing on just putting myself in environments where people are abundant minded, right? Growth mindset is the idea, is the key. And it started with a workshop online with Dean Graciosi in January. And it was shared to me by my good friend Janelle Ball. And I'm forever grateful to Janelle, grateful to Dean and his whole team for putting that thing together, because it lit a fire under me. And I was like, you're right, Dean. I don't know you, but what you're saying makes sense. It makes sense. Why am I limiting myself when I know that I was made for more? And so if you are listening to this, I want to tell you a secret. I need you to come really close. Make sure you hear me now. All right. You listening? You were made for more. We were made in the image of Christ, the creator of all things. We were made to do amazing things. We allow life, we allow circumstances, we allow other people sometimes to get into our heads and to make us think otherwise. Stop it. Let's say it. Stop it. We were made for more. You were made for more. Once you believe that, once you get your actions, your thoughts, and your behaviors aligned with that, you can start walking in that. Are you going to walk in that every day? Nah. That's what affirmations are for. That's what having encouragement communities are for. That's what self-development is for, right? You can pull up to a good ebook, right? Audio book, a good author. You can pick up my book. It's short, but it's encouraging. Go through the questions. It's fun, right? Listen to the podcast. Listen to other podcasts. Find a community where you can meet with each other. Form a group, a book club. Find local churches near you where they have women's groups who encourage and build up and lift up and love up on each other. Like, do what you need to do to keep yourself in that mindset. The abundant mindset is not held by a lot of people, unfortunately. But you could spot it. You could spot when people have it and when they don't. So those are the last 5 of the 20 reasons, the obstacles are preventing you from achieving your goals, your dreams. And I just shared with you the last 5 ways to overcome each of those things. So everyone listening, super, super encouraged by you all sticking it out with us over the last 10 months now. Crazy. It's crazy. 10 months. Oh, wow. But we made it. We're here. We're together. We are stronger together than separate. I appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. From Nicole and myself, we're grateful. We're grateful for the ability to be able to share the things that God has allowed us to go through, our own processes, to share our hearts, our stories, just to share and to be a part of this, right? So thank you guys so much. This is Jory O'Neill again, on behalf of Nicole Salter here, us at AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. We appreciate your time. Have a great night. Be empowered women who use your power to empower others. Peace.
Thank you for listening. We pray you have been empowered by the message. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, join our free Facebook group, AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. Every Monday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, meet us back here for another session of empowerment. Share this episode with another woman who needs to be empowered. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, be an empowered woman using your power to empower others.
20 minutes of power.